The last part that I want to share has to do with the query letter, because it is a document that has changed over time from, say, 10 or 15 years ago. My perception is shorter is better. We've reached the time of so much material to go through so quickly that when you're talking about novels, the preferred query letter is 1 page long, and generally 5 paragraphs. Can be a few more if you need them within the page, but not to go over a page. And now email has come in to it. I think the internet has come of age, and many agents now accept or prefer or require email queries. And when I go through the Guide to Literary Agents, which is one of the primary directories that lists the agents and what they're looking for and how to contact them, my guesstimate is that we're now at maybe about a quarter, maybe a third of the agents now are willing to accept email queries. It makes their job easier, but it also makes your job easier. And email is a form of communication that's even shorter. So to the extent that you can get your message across in a shorter words is better. Shorter is always more difficult to write. So take your time on your query letter to compose it and revise it. I know one writer who told me she spent 40 hours just on revising and polishing her query letter. And then she told me she got a 50% request for sending her several chapters of her novel. So I say if your query can get about a 30% return of yes, you're doing very well. Anything above that is really amazing. And in terms of that query, if you were doing the 5 paragraphs, the first paragraph would be your hook. And you can either go about it with a business hook that just comes out right and you state, I have recently completed revisions on my 35,000 word adventure story for middle grade readers. Just in terms of you're being very specific to state what you have, how long it is, and who it's for. That's a business kind of lead. There are other business leads too, and actually I cover those in the marketing book for novelists, which is called the Sell Your Novel Toolkit, which goes into queries. Oh, you've got that's an older version of it. Goes into queries and synopses and marketing in detail. The other way is to be creative, is to open with a creative hook that, in a way you could say it shows off a little flair of your ability to write, and then quickly gets into what the material is that you're writing. So that's the first paragraph. The first paragraph sometimes also makes a segue into the second part of the query, which is the synopsis. A synopsis is a summary of your story. And I think in the first part of the synopsis you want to make clear who your main character is and the problem that defines the novel, the story, the era, the setting, get the basics down, and then you go on to give the high points, the turning points of your plot, of your novel. And you want to indicate how it ends up, and also the character change. Again, talk about the difficulty of taking, maybe you've written a 100,000 word, 80,000 word, 60,000 word novel or creative nonfiction book, and now you've got to get it all into 2 paragraphs. But it's a good skill to master, and you need to do it. So you have those turning points, and you revealed the theme. Then your 4th paragraph is typically author biography. Who you are, what your background is, your successes. Of course, if you have publication credits or you've won contests, you may want to put that in your hook. You want to lead with the most important thing. So you have to decide and weight what's most important for someone to see. But if you have not had prior publications or won contests or fellowships or or your second cousin, Stephen King recommended you contact. If you don't have a name of somebody that you want to say has recommended you, then the fourth paragraph you talk a little bit about your author credentials and qualifications as a writer. And if you don't have publications, but you have been working on this novel or several novels, you can indicate that. If you want to convey that you're serious about succeeding in as a publishing career novelist, that's your goals. Sometimes this paragraph includes comparisons to other novels or other novelists or other writers, that you don't want to say, you don't want to borrow the fame and make it sound as if you're just like so-and-so. That would be horrible. But you may want to say, similar to Tony Hillerman, my settings are the Southwest. So you're indicating something, but my style is more like Sue Grafton, and I have a strong female protagonist. So that can be very helpful for describing your work. Then your last paragraph is what I call the rest of the details, if they haven't occurred already, and that might be how long your work is, how many words. You don't give it in pages, you give it in word count. Whether it's fully written and ready to send, and it has the polite I look forward to hearing from you, or I've enclosed a 2-page synopsis, or I've enclosed a chapter, which you only do if it's indicated in the guide that the agent wants that, and then you have sincerely yours. So usually not the yours, sincerely or whatever, your close. So that's your 5-paragraph query letter. And like I said, in fact, in this book, I enjoyed the fact that the query that I was able to show and analyze is a 7-paragraph query letter. And the whole point, that actually fit on one page. The whole point is you don't need to win an award for your query letter. Your query letter simply needs to produce the result of an agent or editor requesting more material.